Page 1. I sat there wondering, what in the world could this be? But then I found out what it was.
And what was it?
An RV. That RV stood there still until an hour later it honked.
Beep, beep.
I didn't know what it was at first, but then out came Uncle Sam wearing his American red, white, and blue American hat. It has to be his RV. He came out there saying, "Hey, Jimmy Joe." I was like, "Hey, Uncle Sam." And then came hugging time. Uncle Sam was the worst at hugging. He stood there still and waited for my hands to open wide. He lost. Page 2. It was chill outside. Man, I had to wear about 12 jackets before I could go inside and take them off and get ready for a nice, warm, hot cocoa with me and Uncle Sam and Mama and Papa. It was a nice little cozy house with a fireplace and just a few rooms, but it was fit for our three people family. I didn't have any brothers or sisters, so all I did was sit there and play with my Simply Susie, my golden retriever. That dog of mine was the best thing that ever happened to me. That is, until one day. It was summertime and I just got out of the swimming pool. I was in there swimming with my best friend neighbor, Joshua Pipernickel. He was my bestest friend. He came from school. I met him in first grade and he was the best thing that ever happened to me. Next to my old dog, Simple Susie, and until one day was when I just got out of the pool and she was in there swimming along with me, but then I couldn't find my rubber ducky anywhere, I tell you. I was about to take a bath, but then I saw its eye, then a beak, and then I stared at Simple Susie for a long time. Page 23. When I saw her, I saw guilt in her eye. I knew it must have been her. She ate my poor ducky, my beloved duck. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. That is, until she ate it, of course. Then, well, that all just reminded me of that funeral day when my ducky died. I loved that ducky, but I was sad to see it go, but finally I just let it go. Then, one day, I found a new one. That didn't end so well, though. It got ran over by a garbage truck. My papa thought I was just like a little girl, but that is until I found out about Hot Wheels. They were the best thing that ever happened to me. Me and Joshua would always play with them. Man, we had a good time racing them, pretending they were mermaids, and, well, I was King Neptune. Whew, those were fun days. But you gotta love being a kid. But soon I grew up and got out of Hot Wheels. I got into monster trucks. Oh yeah, they were the best things that ever happened to me. But, you know, monster trucks, they're not that cool either. So I got into dinosaurs. I love T-Rexes. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. I got them at Toys R Us all the time. But then my mama had a baby. It was a baby girl. Man, did I hate girls. Except for a girl in my classroom. She reminded me of the RV. The face on the truck, man, it looked like her. That's why I liked her so much. She was like my second best friend next to Josh, but whatever. Who's counting? I had tons of friends back then. But then one day I lost one just because I beat them and well, I beat them in volleyball. So that's it pretty much. End of my friendship with Graceful. Actually, let's see. Grudgy. That was his name. Grudgy. Grudgy. Pine. Let me think. Oh yeah. Grudgy Peeny. But then, well, that was fun. Me and Josh, back to the story. Well, we had tons of fun, but I kind of got away from him because I love my baby sister named Grace. Yep, Grace Joe. Except the only part was she wasn't into Hot Wheels or dinosaurs or monster trucks. She was into baby dolls and Hearts for Hearts girls. But Polly Pockets were fun. Yep. That were sure fun. Page 36. Well, then I got married. And then my name was Jimmy Joe Rockstar. I love that last name. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I got married to Joel Rockstar. Here he is. Me and Joel, we met at the park, blowing bubbles. Our bubbles connected, and our hearts connected with it. Man, these bubbles were the best thing that ever happened to me. I invited him to all my birthday parties. That's why I love these bubbles. Party for crazy. Yeah. And all we did was blow bubbles the whole time. That is, except for eat cake and party. But then, yeah, I just decided it was time. And he did too. So, we're connected forever. That's until we both die, but who's counting? And then, the first plant I ever planted in my new house, it was, well, about the size of this driveway right here. But who's counting? And the first plant was a rose bush. Yep, the best plant I ever planted. Yep, purple or pink, whichever. Who's counting, really? So, one time I found one the shape of the RV. It reminded me of my Uncle Sam. Man, I love that guy. But he sure got into hugging. And then, well, that brings us back to the beginning, where I held my hands out, he hugged me tight. Then, of course, he somehow broke my ankle, but who's counting? So then, well, I went to the emergency room, and then he gave me this wonderful picture. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was of the RV, and him, his beard, and red, white, and blue American hat. And wow, I just loved the outfit he wore. It seemed like he just loved to do fireworks, but, who's counting, so. Well, that Uncle Sam in the RV was the best thing that ever happened to me, next to these party like crazy bubbles. But who's counting? So, that's my story about the time I remembered about my Uncle Sam's crazy RV. But